Okay, being 9 o'clock, we might start our second webinar. So first of all, I'd like to respect and acknowledge and honour the Aboriginal people of Australia's Northern Territory and recognise their continuation of culture, connection to lands, water and country. We pay our respects to elders past, present and future. Hi, I'm Chrissy Gorry, the Tourism Enterprise Officer. I'm joined today by Lauren and Nick. Today's webinar will be covering both the consumer rating and the digital review components of the awards. This session is being recorded. If you have any questions during the session, please raise your hand or you can add it to the chat. We also will have a few time at the end for a few questions. If you can just keep your microphones on mute, please. So the consumer rating component is worth 20 points for the total score for most categories. So it's not all categories, most. You should be working now on increasing your GRI, which is your Global Review Index, and making sure that it's as high as it is possible before the 30th of June 2025. To generate a GRI for the awards point of view, you need to have a minimum of 25 reviews via a range of different things that people, that Nick will talk about in a minute, but that's for the whole year. So between the 1st of July 24 to the 30th of June 25. So noting you might have had, a GRI in previous years, but if you've not got the minimum of 25 for that 1 year period, you don't get a GRI score, a consumer rating score. So I am going to hand over to Nick, who is far more across the whole GRI, Review Pro, etc., to talk about this consumer rating point of view.
Okay, so Review Pro is an online tracking system. It will track over 175 review sites, from online travel agents to just your standard Google business listing. And it will also track which languages they're being written in, which country they're written from, being the person that is reviewing it, where their profile is based. It analyzes the positive and negative comments, which we'll talk about. It uses users of Review Pro. Businesses can use Review Pro themselves, and there's various ways to access, which we'll talk about too. But there is a Review Pro app that comes with that, and it allows you to respond to all reviews that you're receiving that Review Pro is tracking in one place. Review Pro does not track, it doesn't track sources like Wikicamps, which is a popular one in Australia. It's a worldwide system, so it will only track things that are used worldwide. Wikicamps is not one of them. If you're entering the Brolgas, you will receive complimentary Review Pro access for the limited period of time. And if you're currently an existing quality tourism accredited business, you have existing access. If you do not have the access but you are accredited, then contact Tourism Top End, who will be able to facilitate the access for you. This is a example of the Review Pro dashboard. We do send out annually on request the reports for Review Pro for your particular business. We also provide reports that you can use to get the average for your sector, for your region, or for the NT. This one that's showing here was a report that was pulled last week, and it is showing the data that we are tracking right across the NT, which is about 800 businesses. Do you want to go to the next one, Chrissy? The breakdown of what this is showing is on the far left, the Global Review Index. So that is the GRI score. It's a score out of 100, and it is showing you the average score of your numerically rated reviews. So that would be, for example, your Google business listing, which is out of a 5-star rating, or it could be booking.com, which is out of 10. It's not including Facebook reviews because they are recommendations only. So it's a recommended or not recommended. It's not a numerical rating, so it's not part of your global review index. The second one in from the left is the reviews that are being tracked. So the green is showing positive. So if that's Google, it's 4 and 5-star ratings. The orange is neutral, so it'll be 3-star, and the red is negative, 1 and 2-star ratings. This also is not tracking Facebook in this particular graph. The third one is the semantic analysis. So ReviewPro will take every single review that's being tracked for your business. This is including Facebook reviews because they're written reviews. And it's determining every single comment that's made within the review. It's categorizing them and determining through AI if that particular comment is positive or negative. So that is your semantic analysis score. And the management response is the percentage of respondable reviews which are being responded to by the business. A respondable review is a review that has words. So for example, Google does not require you to have a minimum number of characters entered like another review platform like TripAdvisor would. So if someone just leaves a star rating with no comment, it means that the system is not tracking it as a respondable review. Next one, Chrissy. So there's a number of ways that you can encourage online reviews. I think the most obvious one is having generally a really amazing product. Make people want to review you through service delivery. That could be having the right team in place in general for your business, like excellent frontline staff, the perfect tour guide. These are always great sources of positive reviews. And generally providing consistently excellent customer service or exceptional experiences, or both, from the booking process right through to the visitor leaving your business. Requesting reviews is another really great way to get reviews. People are generally 70% more likely to write a review for your business if you ask them. There's multiple ways to ask. One could be in person, on checkout, or disembarking from a tour. You can use visual QR codes that are highly visible to your visitors, whether that's on checkout, at a reception desk, on the door. Some people put them on the back of cubicle doors. You could put them on the back of tour bus seats, that type of thing. It allows people to then just quickly scan that and write a review. One of the most effective ways is to provide a link in a follow-up email post-departure for your visitor. Depending on your business type, that could be right on checkout, but it's more effective to do this maybe in a day or two, depending on your particular market and what their standard travel routine would be. By doing it in a follow-up email, it means that they might be somewhere else looking at their phone. They have to be on their phone or their desktop to be able to read that email. It might be at a time where they've got a bit of time to write a review. And then in that, you would provide them with the link or links to give them options of where you'd like them to put the review. So That could be your Google business listing. Google allows you to copy a link that will hyperlink directly to your own profile. It could be to your TripAdvisor account, that type of thing. By responding to your reviews effectively, it also shows the future reviewers that you care about the feedback that you receive. So a business that encourages reviews but never responds may deter future reviewers from actually writing the response. You should also never solicit reviews unethically, which would be providing an offer or something like that where people do write you a positive review. They should be genuine reviews. And encouraging unbiased, honest reviews is the best way, because it's also a way for you to determine where your gaps might be, and you can then address the gaps. Next slide, Chrissy, please. So this is a graph of review resources. These are some of the top line resources that we track across the NT. Booking.com is at the very top. The reason for that is Booking.com, like a lot of other online booking systems, will be sending everyone that books through them. Once they've finished their booking, they will send an email asking for that person to rate the place that they've just stayed in. They're asking every single customer, and that's why they're at the top. And that's what you can do manually. Some booking systems, you can set up an automated email to send through to your customers post-trip. Google is probably the most trusted source of reviews. It's also generally the first place that people will look. If they're in town, they're thinking they might join your tour or visit your establishment or stay at your hotel. The first thing that they will find is your Google business listing to find out where you're located, and that's where they'll be finding your reviews. TripAdvisor is the next one, and then so on. Next slide, Chrissy. This one is a really quick snip of food and beverage. So food and beverage specific operators are rated slightly differently. From a consumer's perspective, they don't look any different when people are rating them, but they're treated differently by ReviewPro because of back-end processes. So for food and beverage, Google is the top performer of that. Yelp is the lowest for Australia.
Thank you, Nick. I hope that covers some, things about consumer review. So the other component is the digital review, which again, I guess is probably a significant online presence of your business as such, and very important for your consumer touch points. It is worth 20 points, so that has risen from previous years. And the verification judge is going to undertake a review of your website, your social media and online reviews, and any external online sources. So the key changes for 2025 is it's including communication about your sustainability and positive impact and your initiatives and plans on that, and also your explanation of accessibility of your product, service, and any plans. So let's have a bit of a look at the various questions and how you get the full 20 points. So the first part is website, and again, on nomination, you will be asked to provide, the URL for your, website as such sort of thing. And I guess probably the aim is for you to get the full scores. So things like a maximum 2 to have really good, clear communication, have a frequently asked questions page, also have some logos, etc., about your quality business to get the full 2 points of your website. Other key parts is, again, as I said, new, is the communicating your sustainability positive impact. And this doesn't have to be just a dedicated page. You might choose to have it through your website as such. But again, aim to get that 1 point by making sure that you are talking your sustainability. And obviously, another point if you do have an action plan. A bit the same for the accessibility. So again, explain or promote your accessibility of your product or service. And also if you do have any plans, guides, videos, etc. On your website that is allowing consumers to actually know what your accessible product is, service, etc. So another key new part is if your website is compliant with the website accessibility guidelines. So it is asking to get a minimum of 70% on Google Lighthouse. So here is the way to test your website. I will provide this link as well to you as nominees. So again, have a real look and try and ensure that you are meeting the 70% minimum. And other things, of course, is your website's search engine optimized, and you also promote the region, other products. So again, this isn't just saying we're in the Northern Territory. It is actually really highlighting to the visitors possibly events that are going on, including other products, possibly as an accommodation, looking at other attractions that they could be visiting, tours, taking up those side of things. So try and get the full 10 points for the website component.
Can I just make a comment, Chrissy, on the Google Lighthouse? If
Please.
the percentage is below 70%, it does provide recommendations of how to boost that rating. So it's not just looking at a rating, it's also providing you with guidance of where you might need to fix those particular points in your website so that you can get above that rating.
So the social media and online reviews. So again, the scoring is actually staged as such sort of thing. So I guess probably it is your frequency of, your posts on social media. Also, again, encouraging the regional visitation point of view, again, staged, as in, obviously at least quarterly is you should be doing some sort of post about the region, encouraging that visitation. Perfect world, actually, at least once a month. And then I guess the other part of, did the business regularly respond to online reviews? So as Nick talked earlier, utilising Review Pro to be able to make sure that you are responding to your reviews. And obviously the aim is to have 75% plus, so you get the full 2 points. Other external sources. So ATDW, so I guess this is another clear thing of, is the information clear? Are your images awesome? Jump in now, make sure that it's up to date, get that additional point so you're getting the full 2, not just a standard ATDW listing, have those sort of real clear information and awesome up-to-date images. And again, also with your Google business, I'm sure it's something that you probably do try and say, okay, let's make sure we keep on top of and make sure that, yes, it is clear and images say 1,000 words. And last of all is, can the entrant be found on other online booking systems, which again, we know that some products are, i.e. events. So it would be not applicable, but if you are that sort of business with booking.com, etc., other online sites, please articulate those ones. Any questions when it comes to the consumer review? No, and the digital rating, review, sorry. Okay, so probably, again, reminder of the diaries. So nominations are now open, so I look forward to receiving your nominations if you have not already. They close on Wednesday, the 6th of August. and your submissions are due on the 3rd of September. So lots to be done, and part of this planning and support, we will be holding our 3rd webinar in a fortnight's time, and it's going to be a bit of a deep dive into section 1 and section 2. We'll then do following webinars 4 and 5, again deep dives into the different sections. So again, we are also available to do kind of one-on-one sessions just for you to have a really, ask questions, to also then say the same thing, okay, I'm not quite understanding some of the bits of examples that these bits are asking me for. That's what I'm here for. And we are also offering a final draft review. So I would encourage all of you to really start aiming for that. And it does need to be with the draft review judge before the 20th of August, mainly being that it needs to have time for them to review it for you, give you your feedback, and then you can make some changes before the 3rd of September. Any other questions?
Chrissy, there's a question in the chat. How do we get access to the Review Pro account?
So once you're nominated as such via the online system, and part of the entrance guide does actually give you a bit of a step-to-step of how you can get hold of that. If you are already currently accredited, you should also already have access as such, which happy to assist on both those fronts to provide you with information. Any other questions?
Chrissy, I'll just make a comment. If anyone is wanting to, if anyone doesn't understand what their profile is telling them in Review Pro, they can give me a call. I'm happy to go through it with anyone who needs it, on whatever aspect they're not sure about. And if anyone wants me to have a one-on-one with them after this, Chrissy will put my details into the email along with the Google Lighthouse link, and yeah, we can make a time to go through that.
Wonderful, thank you. And again, Brolga's team, as we are, available on the website, Brolga Awards, otherwise also via email, brolgaawards@nt.gov.au. Otherwise, don't hesitate to pick up the phone, 89518 518. Otherwise, yes, look forward to you joining us again in a fortnight's time for the next webinar. And thank you again for joining us today.
Thanks, Chrissy. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, everyone.